Welcome to the team.
Welcome to the team.
Welcome, team, and we're so happy to have you.
Welcome to the team.
Violence acts like a contagion, like a disease.
It's like the cold or flu, right? And you know, how it copies, how it can lay dormant, how it becomes airborne. And I'm quite sure if some of y'all have seen that before. You can be out at an event or something and an argument breaks out, and before you know it, that argument spreads.
Violence is a public health issue because it affects the health of people.
The mission of the New York City Health Department is to promote the health of all neighborhoods in our city. A neighborhood can't be healthy if it's plagued by violence.
There's historical trauma that exists that not only affects the child at a young age, but also as they get older and puts them actually at higher risk for heart attacks and other chronic diseases.
Among young black men between the ages of 15 and 34, homicide is the leading cause of death. Now, the important thing about this is that these violent deaths are preventable.
The Center for Health Equity's mission is to eliminate health inequities that exist in New York City and to amplify the health department's work to also eliminate these inequities by not only focusing on the social determinants of health, but also on the structural forms of oppression such as racism and discrimination that impact those determinants.
Pure Violence's origin, it originated in Chicago in 2000. Its founder is an epidemiologist by the name of Gary Slutkin, who believed that violence was a health issue and treated it like a disease.
In 2009, there was a rash of murders that took place in Brooklyn, Harlem, and Queens. And there was a citywide meeting to see what can be done to help curb some of the violence.
A few advocates advocated for this program to come here to the city.
We picked up or adopted a model from out of Chicago named Chicago Ceasefire. And then Chicago Ceasefire eventually changed their name from Ceasefire to Cure Violence.
In defining a credible messenger, it's important to note that that is someone who is significant in the community, known, respected in the community. Sometimes for not the most positive actions or behaviors, yet and still here's a person that has a definite impact and impression on the community in which they're going to work.
A credible messenger is someone who themselves has gone through a transformation. They're people who have grit, individuals who have courage, individuals who are brave, individuals who are able and willing to use their entire set of skills in order to affect change.
So there are a few strategies in getting the best results. One of those strategies is to make sure that the individual, the credible messengers, are, taking care of themselves.
My focus was to be the voice for the voiceless. And in doing so, I've neglected myself. My brother was murdered in 2012, shot in his chest 7 times. If we do not take care of ourselves, how can we take care of another person?
Another important strategy is self-development. And so it's important that the credible messenger continue to educate themselves.
Procedures and policy and protocols are important because of the inherent danger in the work that we do.
The attitude behind the work that we do is to always preserve the safety of each member of the team. Because it depends on where we are, it depends on the team members. Our team members are trained, and an assessment is always done in every interaction that we have.
So when you're gonna prepare for an interruption, the proper protocol is first and foremost assess the situation and your ability to handle the situation. Talk with your team, know who's most prevalent in the situation, and have a real strong dialogue about what you can and what you cannot do.
Not following protocol could be the matter that someone does not go home.
While we respect and do not impede law enforcement in their duties, we take a separate approach to mediating conflicts and stopping some of the unfortunate realities in our community.
NYPD does play a little role. It's sort of like a one-way street. They give us information as to the targeted areas that we need to focus in on, and in return we go out and do our job as far as helping to make the community safe.
We collect sensitive information, and that information is not to be shared with anyone.
Success is measured in multiple ways. First of all, our staff tell us, our team are incredible reporters on how the dynamics on the street are changing. The community tells us, but also research tells us.
There's plenty of room for growth in cure violence. The cure violence world has opened opportunities for myself included. I started as a program manager.
Some of you don't look at this as a real job, but it is a real job. Folks don't normally hire people like us. We're deemed to be the undesirables. So we're being scrutinized and we're being looked at. So we ask you when you come on board to be professional at all times, even when you're not at work.
One of our staff members went from volunteer to violence interrupter supervisor to outreach worker supervisor. And other staff have gone on to do incredible things, including running their own organizations.
Someone gave me an opportunity quite some time ago, and I've been able to do a lot with it. And since that time, my edict was, make sure you give it back. Make sure when it's your turn, you help someone else.
We need to be consistent and we need to be reliable. The young folks that we're working with, they read a phony right away.
This is a work that it's not based on your time, 9 to 5, 10 to 6. It's based on your lifestyle. It's based on your consciousness. It's based on your commitment to community.
Know that what you're doing is valued. Know that if you're doing this work, not just to do it for a paycheck, it must be a passion. It must be something that you feel. Because if you're just doing it for the paycheck, it does not support the movement. The movement is about protecting life. The movement is about making sure that our communities are engaged and that we're raising bigger and better kings and queens within that community.
Cure violence is like, it's a way of life. It's a way of life. You know, there's some sadness in there, there's some happiness in there, there's some joy. Don't be afraid to tell your story, because your story is going to save a life, as mine did.